Hi guys, as I promised you guys, I was going to share the interview questions that I was asked at the US Embassy before I was granted my visa. I'm going to do that in this video. So if today is the first time you're seeing this channel or you're seeing me for the first time, kindly subscribe, and if you have any question, don't forget to drop it down in the comment section. I'm going to reply to all of you guys. So the first thing I'm going to say is, please do not take phone. Don't take your phone to the embassy because it's not allowed. Your phones, any electronic, your bags, your purse, it's not allowed. But if you're with a baby bags are allowed, considered they have it checked, and whatever is inside, you're going to use it for the baby inside the embassy, then it's allowed. For example, you might have like baby bag that have milk and diaper inside because you're going to take time at the embassy sometimes, so definitely those bags are allowed. But any other thing personal for yourself is not allowed. Now, some embassies might have places where you can store them, others don't, so they usually tell you don't bring them, so don't bring them. For me, I brought mine because I brought my phone because I needed to use the GPS to get to the location where I was going. My interview was in Ankara, in Turkey, so I haven't been there before, so I needed my phone to use as like direction to the place. When I got there, they had a place where I could store them, but I had to pay to keep my phone. Then the baby bag was allowed inside the embassy because I had my baby diapers and baby milk because I might take time inside the embassy, so it was allowed, but they checked everything before we got inside. So we passed the security checkpoint, and then when we got inside, the first thing they did was they gave us 2 tickets. The first ticket is for you to take your documents to where they are going to check them to see if you brought everything, if everything is intact. So after they've checked that, you sit again and wait for the second ticket for them to call your number. When my number was called, I was a little bit nervous, so to get over that, I greeted the officer first. I said, "Good morning." He said, "Good morning" back. And remember, your passports will be taken from you at the security entrance, like during the checkpoint. So you don't need to give any other documents, because the first place, the first ticket they give to you where they check like your documents, they're going to take the documents that were needed, and the ones that are not needed, they will give it back to you before you sit for the second ticket. So now for the second ticket is the main interview. So at the main interview, I don't have to do anything anymore. But I took a lot of documents just in case they need it, or in case I have to show it to defend myself, like to defend whatever question I'm answering. So I brought a lot of like documents. So I was holding the ones that were not needed. Okay. So the first question they asked me was, "So who is filing for you today?" And I said, "My husband." And they said, "What is his full name?" I said it. I gave it to them. And then the second question they asked was, "Where does he live? And what does he do?" So I told them. And then the third one they asked was, "Where did you guys meet?" So this particular "where did you guys meet," I didn't just say it like we met here, like we met on social media. No, I said we met on social media, and then I went ahead to say which particular social media platform like we met. I told him TikTok, and then after that I told him, like, I described how we met and the day we met, and after we met and shared contacts, how the conversation was going. I discussed all of that. Like, it took me almost, I think, 3 minutes or 2 minutes thereabout for me to describe all of that. Now, when I was giving this story, I was looking at the officer eyeball to eyeball, like I was making eye contact with him, and when he required me to smile, I smiled, because this is my story. I'm saying it for myself. So when he required me to smile, I smile. When he required me to frown, I frown. Like, I was just giving different facial expression, not to make the conversation boring. And then when I finished, I said, "Yes, so that's it." That is to let the officer know that, okay, you can ask me another question. So the next question he asked was, "So when exactly did you get married?" Like, that means I need to give the exact date. So I gave the exact date. I gave the people that were present. I talked about, like, the different scenarios and how excited the parents were, how excited the family were, and my own family too. I even talked about our dress, like that we wore that day. I talked about how the color matched each other, and then as I was talking, I was bringing out pictures to show proof. When I talk about anyone, I bring out pictures. I talk about another one, I bring out pictures. So in that document that I had, I already arranged the pictures how I want to talk about it. So whenever I talk about anyone, I give the officer the picture. And then he was like, oh, that's okay, that's okay. And then the next question he asked was, so if you get to US now, what are you going to be doing? What is your future plan? And then I told him, like, we have one baby already. Our plan is to have 3 kids. Though I want 2 kids, my husband want 3. And then he just stopped me. He was like, so how did you guys like manage to resolve the issue? I was like, we've not resolved it yet, but if my husband wants 3 kids, we will definitely try for 3 kids, but we have 1 now. So my future plan is to have kids, build a home with my husband, get a job, support my husband. Like, I was giving real life story to him, to the officer. And then there was something that shocked him, because rejected, not like I was rejected, I was granted a student visa before, but the visa was cancelled because my I-20 had expired. So it's showing cancelled without prejudice in my passport. So he asked, were you given a US visa before? I said yes. So he said, so where did you visit? Where did you go? I said, I have never been to the US. I was given the visa and then I was called back to cancel it because my I-20 had expired and they needed me to come back and like get another I-20, but the time has already passed and everything, so they had to cancel it. And then he was like, but that is a problem there. I said, well, what is the problem? He said, because you tried to get in the US like with student visa, you couldn't get it, and now you're trying another. I said, no, excuse me, sir, this is my family you're talking about my husband in front of my kid. You can't say that. I told him that. And then he was like, okay, sure, I'm so sorry about that. And he smiled to make the environment like okay for me. And then he said, so you are applying for yourself, what about your child? You're not applying for your child? I said, my child is already an American citizen. Like, she's already a citizen. She has her passport, everything. As of that time, my baby was just 8 months. So he was shocked. He said, how is your baby a citizen? She was born here, right? I said, yeah, she was born here. But how is your baby an American? I said, because the dad is an American. Like, the dad just had to register her birth abroad, and we took her to the US embassy in Istanbul, and she was given her passport and everything. So he wasn't quite, I don't know if he was aware of that. Like, a kid born to an American in abroad is considered an American. I don't know if he knew of that. So he was like, okay, excuse me. I said, no problem. He went to call a senior officer, like a senior ranked officer, to ask him questions, and they were busy talking for more than 2 minutes. And then he raised the glass back again. He was like, oh, sorry for the inconvenience. I said, oh, no problem, take your time. Then he was like, okay. Then he gave my as I was telling him that my baby is an American, I gave the passport to him. Then he gave the passport back to me when he was done talking to the highest rank officer there. And then he was like, okay, congratulations, your visa has been approved. You pick up your passport at the destination you used when you were registering for the embassy interview. Then I was like, okay, so how long does it take? Then he said it could take up to 3 working days to 3 weeks. And then I was like, okay, no problem. Then I just took my baby and we left the embassy. I was so excited. Although the questions, so what I would say is, the questions will come in either normal questions that they had prepared ahead of time, or the question will come how the conversation is going. So if you say something that doesn't make sense to them, they have to ask questions related to what you have said. So you either get less questions or you get more questions. So every person is different, but this is my own experience. This is how it went, and I'm so happy. We were granted a visa and we are already here in the States. So like I said, please, if you have any question, don't forget to ask in the comment section, and please like this video and share it to whoever like might need it, and don't forget to subscribe. Yeah.